In the quiet, slow-paced town of Oakhaven lived Liam, a young man brimming with untapped potential. He possessed a keen mind and an artist's soul, dreaming of creating breathtaking digital landscapes that would awe the world. Yet, his days were largely spent consumed by the soft embrace of his worn armchair, the glow of a screen, and an endless stream of excuses. Procrastination was his constant companion, whispering tempting reasons to delay, to rest, just a little longer. Self-doubt, a shadow on his creative spirit, convinced him that his dreams were too grand, his efforts too futile. He longed for more, but the cycle of inaction held him captive. One sweltering summer afternoon, Liam scrolled past a headline announcing a prestigious digital art competition in the distant metropolis of Verdant City. The grand prize was an apprenticeship with a renowned studio, his ultimate dream. A flicker of excitement ignited within him, quickly followed by the familiar chill of dread. Me, compete with real artists? I haven't even finished a single major piece, he mumbled, the call to adventure ringing faintly amidst his self-deprecating thoughts. He quickly dismissed it, burying the yearning under a pile of planned but never started projects. For weeks, the competition announcement nagged at him, a persistent itch he couldn't scratch. He'd open his design software, only to find himself closing it moments later, overwhelmed by the blank canvas. "I'll start tomorrow," became his mantra, an insidious lie that chained him to inaction. The thought of leaving Oakhaven, with its comforting predictability and absence of judgment, filled him with anxiety. He felt trapped between his fervent desire to create and his deep-seated fear of failure and the effort required to succeed. One crisp autumn morning, while aimlessly sketching in his notebook, Liam stumbled upon an old, dog-eared copy of his grandfather's journal. Grandfather Elias, a man Liam deeply admired, had been a humble carpenter who, against all odds, built a thriving business. A particular entry caught Liam's eye. The only difference between a dream and a goal is a deadline. The only difference between a goal and achievement is action. These simple words, imbued with Elias's quiet wisdom, resonated deeply. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about starting, about showing up, consistently. His grandfather, though long gone, became his silent mentor, urging him to simply begin. Inspired, Liam made a bold decision. He sold some old possessions, saved every penny, and within a month, packed a single suitcase. With a mixture of trepidation and exhilarating resolve, he boarded a bus to Verdant City. The transition from Oakhaven's sleepy streets to the city's vibrant, ceaseless pulse was jarring. The towering skyscrapers seemed to mock his small-town anxieties, but they also pulsed with an energy that promised endless possibilities. This was it. He had crossed the threshold into a new, challenging world where his old excuses held no sway. Life in Verdant City was a barrage of tests. Liam found a tiny, cramped apartment and took a part-time job to pay rent. His days were a relentless cycle. Work, then hours spent honing his digital art skills, fueled by cheap coffee and sheer willpower. He joined a local artists collective, where he met Maya, a passionate animator who became his first ally. She offered constructive criticism and, more importantly, unwavering belief. But his biggest enemy remained himself. Late nights often found him staring at the screen, the familiar urge to scroll, to procrastinate, battling with his newfound discipline. There were days he felt utterly defeated, his progress agonizingly slow. The competition deadline loomed, a monstrous shadow over his efforts. Liam had poured his heart into his submission piece, a sprawling digital forest, but it felt incomplete, lacking the soul he envisioned. He faced his inmost cave, the fear that even after all this effort, he wasn't good enough. His self-doubt roared. "You're still Liam from Oakhaven, the one who gives up." He felt the magnetic pull of his old armchair, yearning for the comfort of giving up, telling himself he'd tried his best. This was his deepest challenge, the internal battle against his ingrained patterns. The night before the submission, exhaustion gnawed at him. He stared at his nearly finished piece, tears blurring his vision. Suddenly, Grandfather Elias's words echoed in his mind. Action. With a deep breath, Liam pushed aside the doubt. He didn't need to be perfect, just finished. He spent the next few hours meticulously refining, adding small details, not giving in to the urge to stop. He submitted the piece precisely at the deadline, his fingers trembling, a profound sense of accomplishment washing over him, not because of the quality, but because he had acted. He had conquered his greatest enemy, himself. Weeks later, an email arrived. Liam had made it to the finals. The reward wasn't just the recognition, it was the intoxicating taste of progress, the undeniable proof that persistence paid off. He showcased his work, feeling a confidence he never knew he possessed. He didn't win the grand prize, but his piece earned an honorable mention, and a small, independent studio offered him a freelance project. This wasn't the final destination, but a significant victory, a testament to his transformation. The road back wasn't a return to Oakhaven, but a journey inward, cementing his new identity. There were still days when the old habits beckoned, when the comfort of inaction seemed appealing. But now, Liam had a strategy. He broke down large tasks, celebrated small victories, and sought accountability from Maya. He understood that discipline wasn't a switch. It was a muscle he had to continually flex. He learned to forgive himself for missteps and to always choose action over idleness. The true resurrection came when Liam launched his own small online portfolio, showcasing his work. A young art student from Oakhaven, stumbling upon his digital forest, reached out, expressing how Liam's journey had inspired them to overcome their own artistic blocks. Liam, now confident and grounded, became a mentor in his own right, sharing his hard-won wisdom. He was no longer just the young man who dreamed, he was the artist who did. Liam's story became a quiet legend in both Oakhaven and Verdant City. He continued to create, not for awards or recognition, but for the sheer joy of it, for the satisfaction of seeing his visions come to life. His journey proved that success isn't about instant results or a sudden burst of genius. It's about the relentless, often uncomfortable process of persistence. It's about choosing discipline over comfort, breaking free from the shackles of excuses, and embracing the profound transformative power of consistent action. And in doing so, he didn't just achieve his dreams, he became an inspiration.